Good evening, everyone. Warm welcome to the fourth day of Oral Cancer E-Conclave organized by Icon Care Sterling Cancer Hospital and FHNO, Foundation for Head and Neck Oncology. We are on the fourth day. In the last three sessions, we have had prolific discussions about challenges of diagnosing an oral lesion, about the oral cancers, about locally advanced cancers. We saw about the treatment. We saw how beautifully the panel discussion gave solutions to very challenging cases. And here we are today on the fourth session where we're going to discuss and talk about the rehabilitation and follow-up of the oral cancer patients.
Speech therapy and swallowing therapy. Again, a very important aspect in oral cancer management. And I invite Dr. Akshar to be the speaker for this session. He is the speech and swallowing therapist at HEZ Center, Ahmedabad. And Dr. Akshar, over to you.
So coming to my presentation, like speech and swallowing rehabilitation for oral cancer patients. So whenever a patient comes to a surgeon, the patient asks, "Sir, after the surgery, whether I will be able to speak, whether I will be able to swallow, whether I'll be able to have good food, whether my quality of life will be good." So we are now looking into we have looked in that aspects. So starting the head and neck cancers and its treatment causes changes in speech and swallowing function, eventually affecting the quality of life and ability to function in the society. So when the patient comes, the treatment causes changes in the speech and swallowing, which eventually affects the quality of life and as well as the ability to function in the society. But the speech and swallowing rehabilitation helps when it depends on the nature and severity of post treatment changes, that what is the surgery done, what type of the tumor was there. So it depends on the location of the tumor, the choice of treatment, and the availability of use of speech and swallowing therapy during the first 3 months after treatment. So it all the speech and swallowing aspect totally depends on the treatment and the severity of the tumor and the location. So there was a study conducted saying that speech and swallowing functions was mostly rated as important by the patient after the primary surgery of for oral and oropharyngeal cancer. So after having surgery, the patient has rated this study was conducted in 43 countries or 43 hospitals of Germany, Austria, and patient reported that speech and swallowing was the most important aspect after having their oral and oropharyngeal cancer surgery. So patients with oral cancer find difficulty in communicating, that they say complaints. They come with the complaint that we are not able to communicate. We are not able to have food, and eventually this all affects on have an eventual effect on this quality of life of the patient. So when should be the rehabilitation should planning? So pre-operative counseling, whenever the patient come for surgery, when the surgeon is counseling the patient, a speech and swallow therapist assists the surgeon, and surgeon educate the patient that there will be some potential changes in speech and swallowing after the surgery. So patient should actively participate in the post-treatment rehabilitation. So after surgery, the patient has been educated that yes, there will be some changes in your speech and as well as your swallowing, because we are talking about oral cancer, tongue, which plays a very much important part in speech. So when there is a oral carcinoma of tongue, so whether it is partial glossectomy or is it hemiglossectomy or total glossectomy, the tongue plays a very important part in the speech as well as in swallowing. So patient definitely asks, sir, whether my speech will be good, whether I will be able to swallow, whether I will be able to have solid foods like normally I was having before the detecting the cancer. So rehabilitation of pre-operative counseling plays a very important role for the patient. Secondly, the post-operative rehabilitation. So after surgery, the patient has been evaluated for the speech, for as well as for swallowing and for voice, as speech and swallowing has to be evaluated after post surgery. And we also play a very important role when the if the after surgery there is, if there is a radiation treatment or as a chemotherapy, then the before starting of chemotherapy, during the chemotherapy, or during and after radiation treatment, the regular follow-up should be there. So patient is continuously being monitored. If there is any while the patient is complaining that I'm difficult to swallow and I'm not unable to speak, so all this evaluation has to be done so that we can help and improve the patient's quality of life. So what is the impact of cancer treatment on speech and swallowing? So after hearing the word cancer, it becomes the patient gets very much scared that, oh, I have got cancer, and it's especially it's of my tongue cancer or any oral cavity cancer. So what impact does it plays on speech and swallowing? So if when the patient is planned for the surgery, uh, the extent of resection of tongue and or the base of tongue, it is related to swallowing ability. That is, the more extensive the resection will be, there will the worse the speech and swallowing function. So whether if it is a partial hemiglossectomy or total glossectomy, if more resection is there, then eventually it will hinder the speech as well as the swallowing function, because most of the articulation comes from the tongue. So second thing, if the patient is planned for radiotherapy, not for surgery. So as compared to surgery, radiation has very much less effects on speech as compared to following radiation side effects. So as compared to surgery, radiation there is no surgery, there is no removal of part on the early stages of cancer. Radiation therapy has been advised for the patient, so it has much less effect on swallowing as per speech as compared to swallowing. These are the potential side effects radiation which affects swallowing. That is a mucositis, the xerostomia, as Dr. Vandana said, sensory changes in taste and smell, fibrosis, neuropathy, there's change in anatomy, that will be stricture, odynophagia, that is painful swallowing, loss of appetite, then edema, then infection, and dental changes. So as I was reading the chat, Dr. Manisha said that whenever a patient comes during the before and during the radiation, I advise the patient that they will be having xerostomia, that is the loss of saliva protection. So I advise them that to have sips of water. And also, as Dr. Vandana said, that patient will be having difficulty as to go for a pass bathroom and all. So Dr. Manisha also told that one good thing that we can use that sanitized bottle and we can keep water instead, and we can ask the patient to have every 10 to 15 minutes he or she can spray it into the oral cavity, so that it will be very much helpful for the patient. So this will as saliva is very much helpful in terms of swallowing also, but during radiation it has as a radiation side effect, it is very much hindered. So this can very much be helpful for the patient. So, in speech and following tongue cancer, a study showed that the use of free flaps in the immediate reconstruction of the tongue after tumor resection should be aimed at the maintenance of the mobility of the residual tongue and restoration of tongue bulk in order to optimize the recovery of speech and swallowing function. So, a study was done suggesting that if the tongue bulk is maintained, if the tongue bulk is retained, then it will be very much helpful for the mobility of the tongue, and as well as it will very much helpful for the articulation of some sound which sometimes get hindered if the but eventually it all depends as the what is the type of the tumor, what is the resection, what is the flap done. So this is a video demonstrating tongue mobility after microvascular free flap surgery. As we can see, the tongue mobility is very much good. So after speech therapy and excessive exercise, then patient will be able to have a good speech as well as swallowing. So we can see all the patient, the post-operative rehabilitation is not complete without all the team members. That is the head and neck surgeon, plastic surgeon, speech and swallowing therapist, dietitian, physiotherapist, integrative oncology, that is pain management, dental team, psycho-oncology team, and yoga therapist. All these specialists work as a team as a rehabilitation specialist, and all of them work for the improvement of the quality of life of the patient. So, if for the assessment, so speech and following evaluation, there are two types of examination. That is, one is the screening evaluation that is clinically done, and the instrumental evaluation. Screening test is like a motor examination, four finger test, then repetitive saliva swallowing test. So oromotor examination, that is after post operative, how much what is the resection done, how much is the tongue mobility left. So it eventually this will be very much helpful for us for the evaluation and for speech and swallowing. So four finger test is for generally for dysphagia, clinically dysphagia. I will show in the next slide. This is another water swallow test, 100 ml water swallow test. It is a quick and simple test of assessment for identifying patients with aspiration. And patient is given 100 ml water. Patient is given 100 ml water to swallow, and according to that, whatever the scoring is given, the score one gives no swallow, no cough, or no frequent breathing. That is the very severe score. And if the patient is able to swallow it, then we will score 4, that is swallowed successfully with normal breathing, no cough, no wet hoarse voice. So this is a normal oromotor examination. I'd like to show the video. This is normal person's oromotor. We can see everything. This is the patient see a tongue post-operatively before going to radiotherapy. The patient come with a Ryle's tube. Patient had a complaint that she's not able to she's not able to talk properly and not able to swallow properly. So oromotor examination I will show you. As we can see, the tongue mobility is less, but with the extensive therapy, we can gain some mobility of the tongue, and which we can his help for his speech, improvement in speech. So I gave her some water to drink, but she was not able to swallow it. She was getting saying that she was having pain. She refused that she was not able to swallow the water. So as I said, the four finger test. We have to keep. I keep the four finger. One is the submandibular region, second in the higher, and third and fourth at the larynx. And we ask the patient to swallow the saliva first, and we'll see whether there is a laryngeal elevation or not, or whether he or she is able to swallow or not. So there are different scales for evaluation of this. That is, first is the functional oral intake scale, that is FOIS. Whenever the patient comes with either a Ryle's tube or either a PEG tube or jejunostomy tube. So this scale indicates for the Ryle's tube whether he or she is able to take orally or not. So as we can see, patient is on Ryle's tube, and it helps in understanding the current status of the patient in terms of swallowing. It goes from level 1 to level 6, where level 1 indicates there is no oral intake. The patient is totally dependent on the Ryle's tube, and level 6 indicates that patient is totally able to take orally and with no special help or special need or special preparation. Second is the articulation test, whether the after tongue resection, we do articulation test, taking a speech sample and pronouncing and recording the audio. Third is the AYJ-NIHH intelligibility scale, where 0 is it's a perceptual test where the patient comes, we ask the patient to read something or to talk or to say something about him. According to that, we gave the intelligibility scale that 0 indicates the normal speech and 6 indicates the speech cannot be understood even when the context is known. The fourth one is the dysphagia handicap index. It is a self-evaluation index. As we can see that all this 1F, 2F, F is all functional. E indicates that's emotional, and P indicates physiological problem. So functional question, if I rate, I avoid some food because of my swallowing problem. So no, 1 will be the normal, or severe. 7 will be the severe. So if I take an emotional problem, I am embarrassed to eat in public. So this indicates that if the patient is on in Ryle's tube, the patient has to take, or patient is unable to take oral feeds. So patient says that I'm not able to take, I'm feeling like embarrassed, I'm not able to, I can't take it. So like that. So if you can see this 6P, that is a physiological, I have to swallow again before food will go down. So sometimes what happens, whenever the patient is having some food, semi-solid food or liquid food, patient patient says that I have to swallow it again, otherwise the food will directly go down. So in terms of liquid, if the patient is having liquid diet, the liquid diet will eventually go directly with the help of gravity. The water will go and patient will aspirate, or coughing will be seen. So we can rate from 1 to 7. So in coming to instrumental evaluation for swallowing, there are two types of evaluation. That is, first is the FEES, that is fiber optic endoscopic evaluation for swallowing. Second is the video fluoroscopic swallow study. Then sorry. First is the fiber optic endoscopic evaluation for swallowing FEES. This is a workstation. In this evaluation, we ask we give some food material along with food mixed with the food color, green food color, and these are the and after that we evaluate the patient having trouble swallowing and swallowing also. This fees can also be used as a therapeutic to evaluate whether any therapeutic management can be done with the help of this. We can test. So blue, that's a dye, gloves, and all these are the instruments which will be very much helpful. So this is a patient normal one. So as we can see, we can clearly see the structures, anatomical structures. So normal normal person was given a curd with a food coloring mixed into it, and patient was asked to swallow. So as you can see, the internal structures can be seen very much clearly with the help of FEES right now.
Aksar, can we request you to please fast forward? We are already running out of time.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay. So this is the video fluoroscopic swallowing study. Then patient, this is done for the patient. We can use this test for the oral carcinoma, where if the patient is having difficulty in the oral preparatory stage or second oral pharyngeal stage. Then the therapeutic management, these are the different maneuvers which we can help for the help the patient out. That is a Mendelssohn maneuver, Shakir exercise, supraglottic exercise, supraglottic exercise, Masako, head positioning, range of motion, effortful, and very much important, that is a diet modification technique, which is very much helpful for the oral cancer patient. So this is a patient over CA tongue post the patient.
Akshay, can we request you to come to the conclusion, because we are running out of time and the video is taking a lot of time. Yeah.
Okay.
Please come to the conclusion.
Sir. So, okay. So to conclude with the presentation, the patient I advise patient to have continuously range of motion exercises for better speech and swallowing function, to maintain hydration. And if the patient is having any doubt, patient can reach out to his or her treating doctor. Also, it is very important to evaluate the patient by speech and swallowing therapist, which is very much helpful in improving the quality of life of patient, and also getting all together with all the rehab teams, which is very much important, and all rehab teams help in improving the quality of life of patient. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Akshar. So needless to say that all these exercises, speech and swallowing therapists need to be an important integral part of our head and neck oncology team.